so high with Kath and Nath.
Boop boop boo boop 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 boo boop boop boo boop boo. You look really great, Nath.
Mentally, I'm here.
Seems fine.
Hi, Kath.
Oh, greetings. Hi, Nath.
How are you?
Oh, I feel pretty great.
Yeah.
Here we go.
How great? Like, let's scale this.
Oh, now I feel bad at that. So, well, better than I don't know. I don't even have an actual answer. That is so sad.
No, that's listen, the seasons are changing. We're all feeling it.
You know what? This is one of, I feel like I have a bunch of issues, but one of them
It's gonna be a serious episode, isn't it?
is,
Let me go through my issues.
let me go. We'll just touch on the first 37 for this episode and then move on after that. No, you know what it is, Nath?
Yes.
I feel like I have gotten a bit off track in terms of diet and exercise. So now everything I put on feels a little tight.
Well, yeah.
Close.
Well,
And really what I want to do I would love to be like, let's just drink more water and move our bodies. But instead I'm just like, I just want to put on a onesie, roll up a pizza like a burrito, get under a blanket, turn on a show, and I'll see you in June.
I'm just visualizing the pizza rolling. So you can't do it too quick out of the oven because then the sauce it hasn't hardened a smidge.
That's
so
right.
you really
Yeah. But once you do it, I feel like that's the best way to do it.
How big of a pizza are we talking?
Oh, I don't know, probably a large.
We ordered
Go big and go home. That's what I say.
We went to a new pizza place that just opened up in our area. I'm not going to name names because I enjoyed it, but their large was not a large. It was, and I'm like, why are we not conforming to the traditional back in my day?
Isn't it large enough?
Yeah, I mean, now clearly, yes, we could argue I don't need a large pizza. I don't think I'm even disputing that. However, I ordered a large because there was many of us eating it.
And everybody loves leftovers.
Yeah, like come on, 2 a.m. pizza. No, I'm with you. Not so much on the onesie. I don't do a onesie very well, if I'm honest. It's just it's the arms for me. I can't get the
You're just trapped in it.
Yeah, just like a overweight dinosaur trying to crawl out of its skin.
Wow. Well, I love the sweatpants.
Yeah.
Just that's it.
I used to be very anti sweatpants, and that sentiment came from my dad. Because you don't go out in public in your sweatpants.
Right.
And I think and I'm not knocking him. He grew up very poor, right? And so he had to go out in whatever pants he had. And many times as a kid, it was hand-me-down patchwork sweats or something like that, right? So I think as he grew up and became, a middle-class working blue-collar dad, like he was like, well, you wear jeans.
You didn't have to do that. So why would you?
So he didn't do it. So like for the longest time, for about 36 years of my life, I was like, I don't wear sweatpants. And then finally during the pandemic, Jen's like, would you just wear a pair of sweatpants? Like even around the house, there's no reason for you to be having jeans on a Saturday. We can't go anywhere. So just wear sweatpants.
You're making me feel like I'm not comfortable just looking at you.
Right. Yeah. So I finally, Jen picked me up a pair of sweatpants. I wore them one day and I was like, well, this is heaven.
Yeah. They've also evolved to, and of course with everything, there's a new name to make it seem like it's better. So now we're calling it athleisure. Because we're not really athletes. We're just wearing the clothing of an athlete to epically shovel food into our mouths.
There's nothing athletic about me whatsoever.
Television.
No, not whatsoever.
So anyway, I feel like that's just one of those things that weighs on you, and it's no pun intended, but it's just, you're like, oh, I can't, because I'll be great for a while and be like, this is great. I actually feel very healthy. And then you're like,
yeah,
never mind.
Yeah, because I remember during a year or two ago, your Instagram post, you bought the gallon water jug, which still sticks out to my mind.
It's hilarious.
Massive water bottle. It's a whole day's worth of water you should drink. And
it's got, I honestly, now that you say that, I don't even know where it is. I think it's somewhere in this home, but yeah, on the side it had, great job, keep going, you can do it. It's just like all these things. But the best part is I ended up buying it because one of my friends bought it. Mm-hmm. She ended up saying to me, she's like, be careful, the first week I pooped my pants. I was like, what?
How did the water make you poop your pants?
I don't know. So anyway, I was mindful that could happen. It did not happen to me. I will tell you that. Yeah. So thank goodness for that. But
breaking news: Kath did not shard herself.
No. Well, yeah. I mean, it's bad. I feel like I'm a husk. I need to be drinking more water. Although I just read something, and I don't know if this is true or not. It was I think it was an NPR thing on Instagram that said the whole idea that coffee and things like that are not hydrating is based on a study that was debunked from like 1928 or something like that because of the caffeine. So of course I read like the first sentence was like, bottoms up, good. Look at me, picture of health.
I've gotten all the information I need. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Right. Nothing further.
You can't make Pepsi without water, science.
Duh. Yeah. I feel like all of the things are so simple. It's like, just eat a vegetable, go for a walk, get some fresh air, and everything will be fine. And you're like, absolutely not. No, I would rather just sit around being annoyed by everything.
If you just boil 1 clove of garlic each day and have that, you lose 40 pounds by Thanksgiving.
It'll be great.
Like those magazines have been called out. Like Jen and I went to the store the other day, and there was and I'm not joking, it was lose 61 pounds by Thanksgiving. I'm like, that is not possible, even under the worst medical conditions of like cutting the fat off of me. You can't.
No.
Take the scalpel and just, look, I'm shedding the weight.
Oh, yeah. That's the thing. It's also, it's just everywhere all of the time.
Yeah. So no, I would say, you know what? Just wear the onesie. Roll up that pizza. Who cares? I mean, your doctor might care, but your therapist might think you're doing great.
You know what? I'm just going to fall into it. Why not? We'll see what happens. I'm going to try to drink some water and eat a vegetable or something stupid like that.
I curse every time I eat a carrot. I just go, I hate you.
Unlike most people, I don't mind cooked carrots. I really don't like I'm not snacking on a carrot. No.
See, I'm not a huge fan of a mushy carrot. I'm a raw carrot kind of guy. I just want that snap,
Yeah.
And the broken molar. I want both of those things. The snap and the broken molar.
You're like, listen, I'm already if I keep losing teeth like this, I'm going to be down at least a pound by the end of the day.
Can't gain weight if you got no teeth.
Right. Then you got a liquid diet. You know what? You might be onto something, honestly.
Why do you think everyone over 85 is very svelte?
We would just like to remind you that this is not a podcast for any sort of medical advice.
Really, any of the advice given on this podcast should not be taken literally, because I don't know if you know this, Catherine and I are doing fine. Some
of it might be great. I mean, who knows?
62% of podcast listeners find themselves doing great, mainly because of the advice of Kath and Nath.
Thank goodness for us. Finally, we're here.
So great. You're doing well. That's great.
So anyway, long story boring. I'm doing great.
Thanks for joining us this week.
Anyway, that's it. Goodbye, everybody.
Spotify's Unwrapped is coming out in just a few short weeks. How FUBAR is your playlist?
I don't even understand what that means, Nath, and I will tell you why.
And I reject the question. You're throwing big words out here. Unwrapped. What?
I don't even have a Spotify account. I don't think.
You don't, do you when your monthly
I feel really
banking invoice bill come in? Is there a line item for Spotify?
Oh, please, I don't check things like that. I have other things to do. Come on.
I don't handle the money. I just spend it.
No, I don't have. No, that.
When you listen to music, if you listen to music,
feel embarrassed.
Do you listen to music?
I do. Yes.
Start there. Do you listen to those things called musics?
Yes, I do. I have Apple Music.
Oh, well, Catherine.
Which, okay.
With you a $500 AirPods, I imagine.
No, they don't fit in my ears. So listen, so this is even a bigger let's open the door really into the fact that I'm not responsible with money. So I don't remember when I ever got Apple Music, but I think I might have gotten it when the Hamilton mixtape album came out.
It was like exclusive.
I think so, but I'm not 100% sure because the one day I did see something. I was like, what's this charge from Apple?
Yeah.
I'm like, I think this was not that long ago. This is like maybe a month ago. And I was like, wait a minute, you have to pay for that? I'm like, if I'm paying for this, how much am I paying for this? I'm like, well, I'm paying for it now, so might as well just keep paying for it.
It's just low enough. It's like at $4.99. Like, all right, fine. I'm not missing $5.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So that's just dumb and embarrassing.
Apple did that.
There we go.
Same thing. We got a new Apple TV a year or two ago for Christmas. And they're like, well, 3 free months of Apple TV. And they're like, okay, cool. So I put in my account, because I needed it. And then 3 months later, I see like, $2.99. I was like, wait a minute. It's only $2.99.
Right. That happened when I got my new phone. And I think the only show that I've ever really watched, well, Ted Lasso's on Apple TV, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Ted Lasso. And I watched the morning show.
Yeah.
And I don't think I've
there's nothing else worth watching.
I'm literally just being like, here's some money. Thank you so much, Apple, for your service.
Yeah. Well, so back to the original question. So Spotify does something called Unwrapped, and it comes out usually after Thanksgiving, before Christmas time, and it's your top songs, your top like the things you played.
Oh God, that'd be so.
So it's like you played at your funeral 4,000 times. I'm like, well, it was a rough year. so I didn't know you were an Apple Music. I don't know if Apple does that, but I guess my question was, what do you think your top track is going to be this year?
Oh, that's
what's the thing on repeat?
That's a good question. I could probably look and maybe find out in some way. I know that one thing that I've been listening to, and I feel like I will be judged by this, but whatever. I've been listening to Anti-Hero by Taylor Swift on repeat. Which I find to be a delightful song.
Is that on her new album?
Mm-hmm.
Is that on her new album Midnight, or is that an older?
No, yes, that's on the new album, which I find to be delightful.
I have not listened yet. I'm not against listening to it. I just haven't had the opportunity to.
I kind of forgot about it, and then I was like, oh, and I actually was driving, and I went to Skinny Atlas, and I was driving back, and I remember thinking, like, because it was the weekend it came out, so I thought, well, this is the perfect opportunity to listen to it on the drive home. I did one of those silent drives where I didn't even really realize I was doing it, and then I was something like, I didn't listen to anything. I just like stared into space and drove. Did
you drive the throughway home?
I did this time. Yes.
Yeah, I've been guilty of that too, where I would just I'll listen to something and then like I'll start a playlist when I get on the throughway, and then like the throughway hits and I'm just like 2 hours later I'm like, did I breathe on this trip? I didn't listen to anything. How did I get here? Yeah, the throughway, I think I've driven it, and I'm not exaggerating, probably 10,000 times in the 15 plus years I've lived in Buffalo. And actually the 18 years I'd come to and from Buffalo, because Jen went to school here as well before I went to school here. So, I'd come up almost every weekend to come visit her, because there was no reason for her to come back to Auburn. And so not that that's, any It's still a little sour. Anyway, so probably 10,000 times. It's just such a boring drive. Like, it's not scenic. It's relatively straight. And there's nothing to really like, oh my God, look at the foliage in the mountains. There's none of that. None of that.
Did you say foliage?
Yes. Is that not, did I say it wrong?
Yes.
Foliage? How is it said?
Foliage.
I said foliage.
You said.
How did I say it?
Are you trolling me?
Listen, Catherine. I am starting to get a little concerned because some of my words lately have not been as ideal as they should be.
All right.
No, first off, no, I'm not. First
of all, you did not answer the question in a timely
No, I'm not all right.
Are you all right? Total silence.
Yeah. I mean, okay. When the leaves turn, the leaves aren't turning. Foliage. What did I say? Foliage? I don't know what I said.
You said foliage.
You're giving my wife a lot of backup now that I'm not knowing what I'm talking about because she says that all the time. So anyway, the drive on the thruway is boring. So yes, I enjoy a good silent drive on the thruway.
Yeah, I've done that when I lived in Albany. I did that many times. And it's also when I got into audiobooks.
Oh yeah. That's like 5 hours door to door.
It's 4:15.
Okay, still just obnoxious.
Yeah.
New York is too big. Like, New York is the size
famously large state, New York.
Yeah, unnecessarily large state. Let's divide it up. Yeah.
That's it.
My Spotify Unwrapped is likely going to be, and I'm not ashamed of it, whatsoever. Long Way to the Top, If You Want to Rock and Roll by AC/DC. I think I've played that 400 or 500 times in the last 3 months because it was I took my dad to see the Metallica concert in August at the Highmark Stadium as kind of like a birthday, Christmas, all-in-one present because tickets these days, Catherine, are about $3,000 for a terrible ticket.
That's conservative. Yeah.
Yeah. Plus the $40 beer we had to buy. So nothing worse, by the way, than just piss warm beer at a concert. Like, come on. Like,
no,
it was the worst. Anyway, so they played that song before Metallica hit the stage, and it was like the loudest I've ever heard an AC/DC song, like through the entire the stadium speaker system, and it just like got the crowd on their feet, got them ready to go, and then Metallica to do that thing. So,
enjoyed that. Good bit.
Yeah, thank you. That was for the gram. That's just so I could do that.
Yeah. Yes.
So yeah, I've been playing that on very high levels of volume for like 2.5, 3 months now, to which Jen can't stand because there's a really obnoxious bagpipe section of the song. And she's like, it's just noise. Why are you, how can you be mad when the kids are loud when you just have a bagpipe going?
It's a great question. I love this song. What's it called? If You Got Blood, or no, If You Want Blood.
If you want blood, you got it.
Yeah, that's another good one. I enjoy blasting a song like that, driving into a suburban Wegmans, for example. I mean, it's a good time.
Yeah, the windows down into just a light. Is that TV's Nate Benson? No.
People get upset. It's wild.
So great. Good time.
Well, I enjoy that. Yeah, that's a good hit though.
Yeah, it's a good.
I feel like track. I end up I'll listen to like the same thing over and over and over again, and then
I'm so guilty of that. Which is why it's gonna have like 5,000 plays because I'm like, one song's enough.
That's all I need. It's fine. I enjoy this.
Do you have a top 5? Like, if you had 5 songs you could listen to for the rest of your life. I know. I should. I know if we produced this show, I would have hit you with that yesterday. I'm like, I can think about this. I'm gonna put you on the spot.
I don't know.
You know what? We'll think about it. We'll marinate on that. We'll talk about it next week.
I'm horrible with every question like that because then I immediately forget every
song I've ever heard.
Artist, music. I don't remember. I'm just like, I don't know. Hot Cross Buns. Like, I just freak out. I don't even know what to say.
The original Hot Cross Buns are like a Frank Sinatra cover of Hot Cross Buns.
The 6th grade band version.
By the way, Harrison
heavy on the clarinet,
which is great for all of us.
What's great?
Harrison started his recorder
Oh,
That's fun.
good.
And
Good.
Emmeline's playing the clarinet now. They both play piano, which I played music. Jen played music, so we're kind of like, you should do music.
A family band.
A family band. We are, minus the Nazis. We're going to be the Von Trapps. So, so, yeah. So, and I just think every time Emmeline's playing the clarinet or Harrison's on his recorder, I just think back to the Ferris Bueller. Never had one lesson.
One lesson. Exactly.
Yeah. So
it's perfect.
That's what we're doing.
Any of those reed instruments are challenging. They're a little squeaky.
Yeah, clarinet's a reed instrument. We have to get new reeds. She's like, Dad, try this. I was like, well, I clearly don't know. And then she's like, Dad, use your bottom lip and blow. I'm like
this isn't helping me.
I was like, I can't say foliage. You think I can play clarinet? I'll have to bleep that out.
Please, kids.
Yeah. Have them.
So what are your top 5?
Oh God. Well, right now, A Long Way to the Top is definitely number 1. See, if anyone was to see, I'm not embarrassed by the music I listen to, by any stretch of the imagination, but I have, if my musical taste was a mental condition, it's definitely bipolar. I can go from Metallica to Pavarotti and not many jumps.
I feel I totally can understand that.
So again, coming from a playing music most of my life, not good, by the way, it was never good, but I played music. You're exposed to a lot. So I mean, there are times where I'll listen to nothing but classical music for weeks on end, and then I'm like, you know what, let's do some Metallica deep tracks, or let's do Manowar, or punk hardcore, or pro wrestling themes. It's really
whatever is enjoyable.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's borderline schizophrenic, my musical taste, but Long Way to the Top's probably up there. The Cavalleria Rusticana, which you might remember from the end scene of Godfather 3 or Raging Bull. Yeah.
This is a great playlist.
It really is. Yeah. There's no rhyme or reason to it whatsoever. Those are probably 1 and 2. Sons and Daughters by the Decemberists is up there. Johnny Be Good. A live version of Johnny Be Good by Chuck Berry, because while Chuck Berry might have been a bit of a creep from time to time, still a great guitar player. So there's that.
Can you separate the artist from the art? What did they say?
Well, and that was when he died.
Depends on the artist.
That was I forget who wrote the article, but it was one of those New Yorker Atlantic type writers, and they were like, "Listen, like, we can celebrate the fact that Chuck Berry was one of the top guitar players and icons of rock and roll, but we can also recognize the fact that he was a peeping tom and a creeper. So there's we have to. So we can acknowledge both." So there's that. But a live version of Johnny Be Good, only because he then riffs for like another 10 minutes on it, so it's the longer version of it.
Yes.
What's that? 4, a 5th? The 1812 Overture, probably.
Nice.
Yeah. There's no rhyme or reason to any of it.
I enjoy it. There's a song actually that I don't know a lot of country music, and I've not listened to a lot of country music. There's a song called "Buy Me a Boat," and I've listened to it.
Buy me a boat. Was that close?
Do yourself, yeah, it's very close. Do yourself a favor, look it up, listen to it, turn it up. I think you will enjoy it.
Country, I've never, my parents enjoyed like the 90s country when that was like the number one thing in the world. The Garth Brooks, Clint Blacks, Reba McEntire's and stuff in the early 90s. Yes. So like I was exposed to that. But as I've aged, I've gotten a little more old school Willie Nelson, Johnny Cash, the Patsy Cline from time to time, obviously Dolly Parton, and like, man, did country music, oh, Jesus.
Oh, all right.
If there are any doctors listening, if they can hear my voice or see this video, like if there's something wrong with you, please contact me, because I don't think I'm doing well. Country music has taken a bit of a turn, because they went from talking about like social issues, Folsom Prison Blues, to down by the watering hole with my truck and my beer. Like, it's like, oh, we're just, but I suppose that's all music, right? I mean, pop music's done the same thing.
Yes. Everything goes through stages.
Has
or there's just different artists talking about different things.
Yeah. T Swizzle, she's gotten serious in her old age.
Yes. A little bit.
A little bit. How would you rank At Midnight? Is it At Midnight or is it just Midnight?
I think it's called Midnights.
Midnights? Sure.
Look at me not knowing. hang on.
Welcome to me.
Hang on a minute. What's going on here? What? Midnights.
Midnights.
Yeah. I haven't listened. It's really funny. I saw somebody tweeted about how am I supposed to listen to the rest of the album if you like one song that you just keep listening to, which is totally me. So I've kind of done that, but I mean, I like it.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it. I don't know. I'm not really good at rating things in terms of this one is my favorite. I also don't remember what songs are on what album.
All arbitrary at this point. Well, especially now with either Apple Music or Spotify, they give you those compilations of like the best ofs. Like, yes. Part of your, it's like, all right, whatever. Like they're selecting for me what the best stuff is. I'm like, sure.
Certain things I remember too, because I feel like it depends if an album comes out when it comes out. If I have an opportunity to sit down and listen to it, or if I'm really looking forward to it and I listen to it, I feel like I remember that more. Right. As opposed to, oh, that happened. And then I'm just not, I don't know.
Right.
I have a better memory of when it came out. That didn't make any sense.
Nothing.
I'm sorry.
It's
if it helps, I'm trying.
And that's really the main message of this podcast. Kath and Nath are trying.
We're trying.
And I get it, but we're doing our best.
Again, that's the message.
That's the message. We're trying, not even as hard as we can. We're just trying.
That's why I enjoy it so much. Is I don't really have to try at all. I just enjoy showing up.
I had sheer panic because the last few weeks I've like, hey, I think we'll talk about this. And you're like, cool. And then today I was like, well, I had to take my car to the auto shop and I'm frantic and scrambling. So I'm like, I don't know what we're going to talk about.
It doesn't really matter.
The feedback I've gotten, no, none of this matters.
From what I understand, none of it matters.
From the listener, their viewpoint doesn't matter. I do think next week, I have been quietly posting these episodes still, mainly just to see what the interest is, but haven't done much on social, but I will be blasting stuff out on social. I do think next week might be the first Ask Kath and Nath.
Oh,
so I'm gonna aim for that.
That's exciting.
So if the listener would like to send us some questions, they can send it to us on Instagram at Kath and Nath or Twitter at Kath and Nath. Do we need a TikTok? I don't. Do we need a TikTok?
No.
Great.
Well, I mean, I just can't. I can't even give.
Do you want to dance?
No, I can't stand it. I mean, I enjoy when people like. There's certain things I really enjoy on TikTok, normally because people send them to me.
Yeah, they send it to me on Instagram. Yeah.
Yes. In general, though, I'm just like, ugh.
I don't need another.
It's too much for me. And sometimes like people will be like, you would be funny on TikTok. I'm like, but I can't do it constantly. And I feel like in order to be any kind of success on TikTok, you just have to be doing things constantly. And I just don't have the enthusiasm for it.
No.
I feel like I've just come to a point where I'm like, no. No, thank you. I don't want to.
No.
Although one of my favorite guys on TikTok is he does the thing where he singles out when somebody drops cream cheese into a crock pot recipe. So it'll just be like, okay, this is what I do is I single out the moment where they drop the cream cheese into a crock pot recipe. So then you're watching like the video and then he just goes, there it is. And then that's it. That's like the end of the video.
And you just hear the sound of the plop into the crock pot or something.
Yeah, that's it. And it's so funny. I'm just like, somebody sent that to me and I was like, okay, I'm on board with this.
The other one I found the other day, and I posted it on my Instagram. I think it's Siegfried and Fund. It's the two German. There's this German magic act, and they do the whole like.
I love that.
And they put up the curtain, so they'll be like.
Yes, I did. I saw.
I'm like, that is a brilliant idea. I hate myself for not thinking it.
So funny. Yeah, there are definitely people who on there who are creative, but I don't have the patience to find them.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, forget it.
Yeah.
And I know I sound like an old, but I don't care. I am an old.
old.
Oh, speaking of that, Nath, I got a funny story for you.
Love it. Let's hear it.
A girl I went to high school with sent me a message on Facebook, and she says that her coworker is a big fan of the show, likes me, but she's convinced that I'm lying about my age.
Oh,
That she claims that I'm saying that I'm older than I am because somehow that's going to benefit me. Because famously on television, as a woman, the older you are, the more opportunities you get.
Yeah, clearly. Yes. If history of entertainment has taught us anything, it's anyone over 32 gets all the jobs.
All the special treatment. Yeah. So she had to go get the old high school yearbook, and she still is like skeptical.
I'm gonna as this show's best investigative journalist. I'm gonna dig into this. I think this has been a 40-year con. You're like, I'm gonna have a really bad podcast with a coworker in years to come, and I'm gonna lie about my age. And you knew this in elementary school.
It's the long game, but I thought that was hilarious.
That's hysterical. I have not gotten that feedback. In fact, I think people probably think he's lying. 37. There's no way. He's 103 with that hat. Come on. Oh, Siri's talking. Hi, Siri. No, I don't want you.
Excuse me.
Hang on.
Uh-oh.
Siri, how are you feeling?
Oh, no, nothing to say.
Okay, yeah, that's
yeah. You know what? I feel like that tracks. That absolutely tracks.
That's on brand.
It's like me. Just give her 2.5 to 3 minutes, and I'll come up with an answer.
Just give her some rolled up pizzas and sweatpants and call it a day. What does
your Siri sound like?
She's default. I don't believe in personalizing it. Yeah. No, you're really disappointed. I'm sorry. Oh.
Hey Siri, how are you?
Not too shabby. Thanks for asking.
That's my Siri.
No, young Hugh Grant.
Once I realized I could change it to that, I got real excited.
I wonder. I'll have to check now. Does Siri have the voice of Lisa from the movie Weird Science? Because that's a deep cut for me.
I feel like you could find that somewhere on the internet.
I'm sure. Yeah, maybe next week we'll talk about movies you shouldn't have seen as a young child.
That seems good. It's a good topic.
That seems fine. All right, Kath. Well, this was a half hour with you is just, it really is.
I said that to Chip. I told him how we were talking about how the half hour goes by quickly. And he goes, that's flow. You guys are in flow. Maybe. I said that makes it sound so much more professional.
Yeah, we definitely have a flow.
That's something.
There's definitely a flow here.
Oh, it's a good time though. I'll tell you that much.
It's it's the best half hour I have. 9:30s on Fridays.
100%. It's the best half hour I've had all day.
All right, Kath. Well, next week we'll do a Ask Kath and Nath. For those listeners, hit us up on Instagram or Twitter at Kath and Nath. And we'll answer some questions. And
that's going to be so fun.
It's going to be, God help us. I want to know what the range of questions is going to be. I also want to know, I think the over under questions to you or me, I think it's going to be highly skewed towards you, which is great. Because I'm really curious, what maddening questions people will ask me.
Remind me that I said it was going to be fun. Remind me that I said that.
Well, yeah, we'll play the clip. This will be fun.
And
a few moments later, it wasn't fun.
Narrator, it was not fun.
All right, Kath, have a great week.
You too, Nath. See you later.
See ya.